And then he just knocks out the girl who's screaming, who he hit with the dog food can. And then Squeaky Fromme tries to attack him. And they fall down, and the knife actually goes into his thigh, and he gets so pissed. By the way, Squeaky Fromme is played by Dakota Fanning. Do you remember sweet little Dakota Fanning from the Cat in the Hat movie? And
Brad Pitt's Gonna Murder.
Yeah, and Milk, and all those early 2000 movies. He takes Squeaky Fromme by the hair and starts ramming her head into the mantle of a fireplace, ramming her face into it, then puts her down on her knees and starts ramming her face over and over into a table until her face is a complete bloody mess. And then the woman who's got LaBianca, who's got she runs out screaming through the window. And what's funny is this whole time is Rick Dalton, Leonardo DiCaprio, is just laying in the pool listening to music. He doesn't know any of this is going on until the woman crashes through the window, and he's like, ah! And she falls into the pool. And then he gets so scared, he gets out of the pool and goes, ah! And runs to a shed. And MFer walks out with the flamethrower that he got in that Nazi movie.
Rick Dalton does?
Yeah, okay. And just burns her alive in the pool.
God.
And that's how she dies.
Well, that just spoiled the whole thing.
Yes, it did. I asked you if you wanted to see it.
I still want to see it.
Okay. I need a cigarette now. Let's do this real fast.
Volunteer Radio is WUTK 90.3 FM, Knoxville, Tennessee. Streaming on your free smartphone Radio FX app.
I mean, it was an amazing film. And what I liked about it was, like, unlike other Tarantino films where there's like hardcore violence like throughout the film.
Yeah,
it's like
all saved for the very end.
Right, like in all those Tarantino films, you knew Tarantino was right there with you. And this movie, you're like, where's Tarantino? Where's Tarantino? Because it's like, this doesn't feel like a Tarantino movie. And then he just like jumps out at you at the very end, like, hey, I was here all along.
Okay.
Yeah, SOB. I was here.
He only wants to do one more film, right?
I think so, which is a shame. Which is a shame because he's one of the last great filmmakers.
Why just one?
I guess to make it out an even 10.
I'm just saying, plenty of people have like a filmography more extensive than that.
Of course, yeah.
Why does he want to stop?
I saw this movie with my parents, by the way.
Okay.
They were in town last weekend, and Janelle was working, and so we
let's go see a Quentin Tarantino movie.
She was like, we should go see the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood movie. I hear it's going to get a lot of awards at my mom. This is my mom talking at Oscar time, and I'm like, I don't think you know what you're getting yourself into, but okay. And sure enough, we walked out of the theater in complete silence. They were like, well, wasn't expecting that. But I'm laughing, and we're like, this is the greatest movie ever.
Did they like it at least up to the point where everybody dies?
Sort of. My dad was like, I couldn't understand it because there really is no like.
There's no coherent. Well, it's just kind of a lot of scenes.
It's a lot of scenes. There is no coherent like story. There are no loose ends that get tied up in this movie.
Okay.
The movie ends with Leonardo DiCaprio, because Sharon Tate, played by Margot Robbie, whatever, is his neighbor throughout the whole film, but they never meet.
Okay.
Until the very end, when they're like, "Hey, what happened over there?" And it's like, this is one of the people that actually got killed in the Manson murders. It's like, what happened over there? Oh, these weirdos just can't. And they're like, "Hey, Rick, why don't you come up and have a drink with us?" And then at the very last scene of the movie, he's hugging Sharon Tate, and it's a very sad scene because you know the real story, you know the real outcome.
Is she pregnant?
And she's pregnant in that last scene.
Okay.
She's 8 months pregnant, and she comes wobbling out and hugs Rick Dalton, and it's like, oh, it's so sad because we know what really happened. Yeah. But in this alternate universe, he saved Sharon Tate essentially. Yeah. Without even trying. He and Brad Pitt.
And killed the Manson family.
Oh, my God.
Most of them.
3 of them in the most brutal of ways. Oof. It was great.
It was great.
Yeah. Oh, Dakota Fanning's death was the funniest because, again, I'm just thinking, this is Dakota Fanning, this cute little girl from when I was a kid.
Yeah, I remember I Am Sam.
Yeah, I Am Sam. Not Milk. Not Milk. It was I Am Sam. You're right. Yeah, it was one of the Sean Penn movies. I couldn't remember. I Am Sam. It was this very sad movie. And then I remember from The Cat in the Hat and a bunch of movies, and she was in the Twilight movies in her teenage years, and now here she is, and this adult, and she's very creepy through this movie. She really is. She's like really intense because she's Squeaky Fromme, and Squeaky Fromme was a scary girl, And then he just wails her face into a mantle over and over. I don't advocate violence to anybody, but that scene was amazing, Pork.
It was very satisfying to you.
I needed a cigarette then. I need one now.
Don't smoke, Todd. Come on.
I'm just saying it was that satisfying, if you know what I'm saying.
No.
It was that great.
As a former smoker, I know that I always want a cigarette when I'm stressed out.
I'm not stressed. I'm just so happy.
Which ironically makes you want more stressed out.
It was so great. It was so great.
I don't know if I'm prepared to see that though, because I remember in I Am Sam.
So great.
She's a little 8-year-old.
Did I mess up? Did I mess up Dakota Fanning for you now?
I don't know if I want to see it now based on that.
It was so great. She gets her face destroyed, her head destroyed by Brad Pitt.
I'm just saying, I Am Sam made me cry.
I know.
There's not even one particular scene.
But you'll laugh now.
It's not even one particular scene either. It's most of the movie I'm just crying.
You're gonna laugh hysterically
when I see Dakota Fanning brutally murdered.
Yes.
Okay.
And Tex and the other girl.